Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part two. So part one is the application of the app polish, which that's a dream. All of a sudden it got really muggy out here. It's 70 degrees, but it's 63% humidity, which is kind of high. So it did start getting a little muggy and started to get a little sticky here. I thought I was in Florida for a minute when I was there one time. But again, I just used the adhesion promoter polish app. This thing works so good. Again, if you've applied like a sealant or a wax with a polisher before, it's the same process. Just go over it a couple times and it's a smooth wipe off. I actually did the entire vehicle and then I came back and wiped it off. I only wiped it off on the hood just for video purposes, but on the rest of the car I ended up just going around the entire thing. I just came back and wiped it off, and it was it didn't take me that long because again, I wasn't going, you know, you're able to work larger panels and then you're able to let it sit, and then when you come back and wipe it off, it's really quick. It wipes off buttery smooth. It feels a little slick under the towel, not super slick, but it doesn't feel grabby like a typical polish, so that's pretty good. So let me just go ahead and get to the coating process, but I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to get everything set up here. One thing I will mention is with the pad, look how dry my pad looks. There's like no polish on this pad. And one of the things I forgot to mention in that video, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around here in a second, is you're going to use maybe one drop per panel, if that. It's a real small amount, but I'll show you one technique that I did do as I transition the camera over. As I was done polishing with the machine, you know, working this section here, you know, there's still product in here. All you do is push it against another surface and you can squeeze out the polish that's absorbed in the pad, and you can work that area longer. And so I did that with like for example, if I use one drop, I did like half the door panel, and then I squeezed, you know, I pushed the pad against the door to squeeze out any remaining product, and I did the other half. So that's what I'm saying. If you're one drop per panel is a little bit much, but your pad should look like this when you're done. The only thing I did not polish, and I'm going to mention this right off the camera here, so that you guys know, I did not polish these black pillars. These two here, the same thing on the driver's side. I didn't polish this piece here. Same thing on the driver's side. And I did not polish the headlights with any polishes. And the reason for that is I went ahead and ordered the Expel pre-cut kits for this. So I'm going to be putting the Expel on the pillars here, and on the B pillars, the C pillars, and then the headlights. So I already got the pre-cut kit. Once those come in, I'll put them on. I'll show you how to put them on camera. So let me go ahead and get set up here and put the camera on my head here, and then we'll talk about the C6 ceramic coating. So let me just get adjusted here, and let me just adjust the strap here because it does tend to loosen up over time. Okay, so this should be good. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the coating application part here. So let me put all this stuff. And just to kind of recap on the Equinox, I ended up using gold standard polish with the yellow pad, the gold pad. Then I came back and used adhesion promoter polish, which is part one of the video, and then I wiped that off. There's no need for a panel wipe because you're using the adhesion promoter polish there. So let me just kind of move that. So that's the full DIY detail lineup. Now we're gonna get to C6 Hydro Lite. Now you're probably thinking, well, where does this fall into the lineup? Because DIY has the 3, I don't have the 5 since I used it, 3, 5, and 8 year coating. It's going to be 3, 5, 8. In terms of years, it's a, you know, they claim up to 6 years on that one, but in terms of overall performance, it's above the 8 year coating. So it's going to be the 3 year, 5, 8, then the 5, 3 stack, and then the 8, 3 stack, and then C6 Hydro Lite. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. I mean, the combinations are pretty much endless. So now we're going to get to C6 Hydro Lite, and I want to kind of talk about the chemistry that's used in the coating itself, because they put everything in there but the kitchen sink here, right? So here we go. The 6-year super hydrophobic ceramic coating formula contains polysilazane, silicon carbide, silicon nitride, silicon dioxide, and refined detonated nano diamonds. So that's what it's made up of, and we're going to go over the application. Now, the first thing that people think about this when it comes to it is the price tag on here. It's $300 and you get the applicator with it. It's $297 without the applicator. I know people are going to think it's a little expensive. You can use my promo code and it'll save you 10% off on it, because I don't think this coating goes on sale like their other coatings. So if you want to take the, if you want to pay for the, you have to pay for the best if you want the best, right? And because they put so much chemistry into this, this is technically a professional grade coating like their C6 line. So you're going to be paying for that. If you don't want to pay that much, just get one of the DIY coatings and you'll be just fine as well. So when you open this, again, beautiful presentation in terms of packaging. Get my hand out of the way. Now this one didn't come with the applicator. I just put the applicator when I was putting stuff away, but you get the two stickers here. So you get the bigger one, and then you get the small one, which you can put on the door jamb just to kind of show it off. Again, if you buy them with the applicator, you get an applicator. This one has been a little controversial because those of us that were sent this kit, some of us received the application card here, the metal card, and so some people are kind of upset because they bought the coating and they don't get this. So it was a mistake. It's basically, for those of us who got it, it's a collectible, basically, because in order for you to get this, you have to be in the installer network for it. So that's the plan going forward with this. Here's you know, I can fill it out. It's basically the customer names myself, but you know, it's a limited edition card. So now we're gonna get to the Hydro Lite coating here. Let me kind of just open this up here. Okay, so again, you get a nice package, you get the nice bottle here. This is an aluminum bottle, so if you drop it, it's not gonna shatter on you. And you want to shake this really well. Before I get to that, let me actually crack open about a couple towels here, just in case I need them. So I never actually use these. When Ivan sent me okay, let me put this aside. Thanks, Tim from over at Ethos sent me this. Okay, so we got the towels here, coating leveling towels. We've got this. I got my coating caddy. If you guys have not picked one up yet, you know, definitely consider it. It does look awesome in teal here. So I'm gonna take this with me, and again, just shake this up. Okay, now the DIY coatings do have a larger orifice on the bottles here. So I'm just going to take, rather than dumping it on there, I'm just going to do this. Just a few drops. I don't know how many that is, 10 or so. And then what I'm going to do is just start from the center. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down so I don't spill it, and put the cap on there. Okay. So this is going to prime my applicator. I'm just kind of thinning out the coating, and again, a little goes a long way. I'm going to do half this hood. Just kind of thin it out a little bit because it's a little thick. When you first get your applicator primed, it's a little thick, so I'm trying to thin this out. As far as temperature, like I mentioned, it's 70 degrees. I'm going to put it on here so you guys can actually see the flashing on black. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. It's a little difficult. I think you can actually see. Let me take the camera off my head here. trying to see if I can actually see the reflection. There you go. So now you can see a rainbow. So that's rainbowing in there. Once the rainbow starts to dissipate and the coating looks like it's starting to self-level, like you could actually see the rainbow pretty prevalent here in the lights. So once that's kind of dissipated to about 50%, that's when you kind of wipe it off. And so I'm just gonna kind of wait for that process. I'll just keep the camera in my hand here while we're waiting, and I can actually just see it again. The rainbow's pretty prevalent here. I got a little thick spot right here. While we're talking about that, I kind of just want to mention that I actually got some over application here. Let me wipe that off because I don't want a high spot. One thing, let me go back to the app polish here for a minute. You saw me applying it by machine with my gloves on here. You don't have to do that. I just had them on because I was doing something else before this. But when I wiped off the app polish, I had kept my gloves on, and the reason for that is I didn't want the oils from my hands to transfer onto the towel. Hopefully it kind of makes sense, because I don't want the oils to transfer back into the paint. So it's starting to dissipate here. So I'm just kind of inspecting the different lighting, like certain areas that's ready to be wiped off. Again, just visually inspect it here. This does rainbow for you. I'm trying to capture the rainbow. There you go. So it's almost ready. And you can see it really well right here. So that's the rainbow effect you're going to get. So once it starts to look like it's dissipated 50%, like right here, you can see it's a little thicker. It still looks like it's still a little pushing coating here. But I think I'm pretty much to the point where I can start leveling this. Here it's still there's quite a bit of rainbow in there. Again, depending on your temperature, it's going to dictate when it's ready to be wiped off. So let me just go ahead and take this. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off because I'm not pushing coating around. I'm actually just adjusting my view here. Let's see. Just take a quick little swipe. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off because it's ready to be wiped off. Again, your temperature is going to dictate when it's ready to be wiped off. And I actually intend to wipe the edges first. That's just my technique. And then I'll wipe the inner portions. So if you still look like you're pushing coating around and it's smeary, like I'm not getting that right now, then it wasn't ready. But I timed it just right. Come back with your secondary towel. And just go ahead and wipe it off. This is feels really nice under the towel. And just kind of make sure I got my area wiped off. That feels really nice. Look at that. Feels good on the towel. So let's go ahead and wipe off the mirror. So you saw the application is pretty straightforward. Again, very easy coating to work with. If you've worked with the DIY coatings, this is very similar in terms of the way they flash, in terms of the way they would behave and whatnot. And I will bring you in, but man, it looks so good. How glossy does that look right there? That looks fantastic. So the app polish is going to enhance the appearance because it does have some ceramic in there. Let me go ahead and finish coating this, and I'll come back and I'll give you a walk around of the entire vehicle once it's coated. But man, that looks pretty impressive. And then I'll let it cure up for a couple weeks, and then we'll do a first wash on here, and then I'll come back and show you the hydro focus. So let me come back after I'm done coating it. I'll give you a walk around of the coating. I didn't use that much, just to prime the applicator, so it went on a little thick. Once you thin it out, it'll level, self-level, and you can spread it out further. You saw how much I worked with that amount of drops on there, and I was able to get that mirror coated. I can coat the other mirror with the product in the applicator. So again, just move accordingly. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the hood here, and then I'm gonna just work my way around the vehicle, and I'll get to the roof here. So this 30 ml bottle is enough to coat. I could probably put 2 layers on this car easily. So you should be able to get 2 vehicles out of it, depending on the size. If you have a large SUV, large truck, you may just get away with just 1 bottle. But again, let me just go ahead and finish this, and I'll let you know how much I have left in the bottle. Be right back. Hey everyone, welcome back here. I want to share my thoughts on C6 Hydro Lite here before I show you the vehicle here. Overall, very nice coating to work with, very user friendly. I want to thank Yvan for sending this out to me to kind of test out here. And I'm going to do a long-term test. I'll probably have the Equinox for at least a year, so we'll test it for a year and we'll see how it does over the course of the year. So Yvan, thanks again for sending out the C6 Hydro Lite and also the app polish. Again, both products very user friendly. So you saw the application part in the first part of this video here. Prime the applicator. Again, you're going to use a little bit more product, and so the rainbow is a little bit more prevalent. Once you kind of figure out how much product to use on the next adjacent panels, you know, couple drops, 2 to 3 drops roughly, the rainbow is not as prevalent. But what's interesting, and I think this is a combination of the app polish, is because it's opening the pores of the paint, is it sort of melt into the paint. It's kind of a unique experience. You have to kind of see it to really kind of get what I'm talking about. And I think it's the combination of both. The app polish opening the pores of the paint, and the coating kind of melting into the paint. It's kind of cool when you see it. And so when it came down to my leveling process, I didn't have that much coating left on there. But I did notice that it kind of tended to haze more rather than kind of have that real heavy rainbow effect. Probably because I was laying a nice thin layer of coating on here. So that leaves me with half a bottle of coating left. So I actually used 15 milliliters on the Equinox, which is a compact SUV. So I have enough for another application from another average size vehicle. Again, a little does go a long way. So let me turn around and show you what the car looks like. I'm going to go slow so I don't make you guys dizzy. And you guys can let me know what the silver paint looks like. I'm going to grab a towel as well to show you how slick this is. You got some nice reflections here. And if you guys want to see the correction from it, I'll just pop the light out. You guys can actually see this here. Grab a section here. That's what the paint looks like. So there's not that many defects in the paint. So I just want to kind of show that. So I put this back down. But look how good that looks. And that's silver paint, and if that combination can do this to silver paint, imagine on a darker vehicle, black, red, something like that. And so I do want to show the slickness of this. I just used this towel. This is the other side I didn't use for the coating leveling process, but you can actually just see how slick that is on the surface. So it's a real nice user experience with this coating. And yeah, so we'll see how this does after about a year and see how it holds up. Once I get the PPF in for the headlights and the pillars, I'm going to go ahead and apply it to the PPF, and we'll see how it does on PPF. I think since I have a little bit left, I'm thinking, I haven't made this a thing here. I'm just kind of still thinking about this. Maybe using it as a wheel coating, as actually when I take the wheels off, paint the calipers, is to use the rest of it as a wheel coating, kind of just see how it does the wheel coating. I'm thinking about doing that. We'll see. But overall, we want to just share the user experience with C6 Hydro Lite. Again, that's what the bottle looks like. It's a great presentation. Again, it's an aluminum bottle, so you know, if you drop it, you're not going to shatter it. The other thing I want to reiterate here is, for those of you who are going to buy this, you're not going to get this card. This is only for C6 ceramic installers for the pro stuff. It was just a mistake on their part, and it's some of us content creators. So I just want to make that abundantly clear, because some people have been complaining that, hey, they're not getting the card, they spent so much money, they should be getting the card. I kind of just want to make that well known. So one last thing is, use any of our discount codes. Myself, Eddie, Joey, Jamie, who, you know, just use any of their discount codes. It will save you 10% on the purchase of the coating. It may not seem like a lot, but it, you know, 10% is 10%. Again, we'll see how this does, and I'm looking forward to washing it in a couple weeks, and we'll see how hydrophobic the coating is. And again, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and post down below. You know, is this a coating that you're interested in trying in the future? I don't know if the price is ever going to come down, maybe in time, so we'll see. But again, thanks for watching. Go ahead and post down below on your thoughts on the coating, and we'll look forward to seeing how this does. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone.